Hey guys, Josh here, and I played Dragon Song Tavern so you don't have to. Sorry, it's Dragon Song Tavern, Cozy and Adventurous. That's the full name of the game, and after a few months in early access, it is now fully released on Steam. There is farming, fishing, running a tavern, turn-based combat, quest. I got to experience all of that, and I'll show you how it went. Leave a like on the video if you find it interesting or entertaining at any point, and let's begin. I first have to create my character, and I can choose between the two siblings Elio and Gracie, or I can make my own from scratch. I decide to make my own, and here we have a pretty cute, simple but effective character creator. There is a fair amount of options. For your skin, hair, and eyes you have preset colors, but you can also pick custom ones. The outfits are looking cool, I'm feeling cozy and adventurous. We're off to a great start. I arrive on this island with my sister Gracie, who reveals to me she used up all of our savings to buy this tavern at an auction this morning. More specifically, she paid a grand total of 200 GP, which stands for gold pieces. Here's the interior. As my character says, it is spotless with a capital S, and there's already a fire burning in the fireplace. As we discuss our business plan, this shadow monster appears. Apparently, this is his place, and if we don't leave right away, we'll die. But we are adventurous, so we stay until the monster gives up and reveals his true nature, an adorable dragon named Luca. Gracie decides he's just gonna have to help us, and she names our establishment Dragon Song Tavern. Bam, the day ends abruptly. It's now April 9th, and I'm all by myself in front of the Dragon Song Tavern. Oh, never mind, the other two are back, and we're about to prepare for the grand opening. Well, I say we, but Gracie and Luca are watching me do most of the work. I start with farming, and now would be a good time to say that this is my third time playing this game. I tried a demo at the beginning of the year, tried it again a few months after that when it launched in early access, and now for the full release. The first two times I had lots of issues with the controls, especially during farming, where everything felt slow and unresponsive. The spacebar, which is the action button, did not work at all, but I am happy to report that things are slightly better now. It still feels clunky, but at the very least the buttons are working, and they added an option to sow, water, and harvest multiple crops at once, so that you can get done with the farming faster. I would have much preferred for them to fix the root of the problem, and to make the action of farming fun and satisfying in the first place, as right now the farming feels like a chore that you just want to get out of the way. So once that's out of the way, we head to the windmill and dairy workshop to make flour and cheese. These items do take some time to process, do not worry, it's not in real time, and you can use some send-off time to speed things up. I have over 8 days worth of sand right now, and yes, it is definitely giving mobile free-to-play game at first glance, but again, don't worry, there are no microtransactions, and the send-off time is something you can just buy at regular shops in the game. I then use this fish net to catch some seafood. I do some fishing with a rod as well, and the minigame here simply consists of holding down a button and releasing it once in a while if the line comes close to breaking. Before returning to the tavern, I harvest a few apples, and as I'm looking around, I'm really enjoying the art style. It feels like a pop-up storybook with the 2D assets in the 3D world, the hand-drawn art style. It is a fun look. Once inside the tavern, however, and other buildings we'll see later, the magic quickly falls apart. Not only are most of the assets suddenly in 3D, but everything looks so gigantic compared to the tiny characters. It almost looks like a completely different game. It breaks the immersion, and it is truly a shame that the same level of effort that went outside didn't go in the interiors, as we will be spending a lot of time here. Next, we go to the kitchen where I make some apple juice by pressing spacebar a few times when the line crosses over the orange bar, and then I hold down a few seconds to turn the handle. I then make fish soup and this specialty baked flatbread with cheese and tomato sauce, also known as pizza, and it is a similar minigame, but instead of pressing spacebar, I press D until we reach the orange bar. My favorite part of this game is by far researching new recipes. You have clues when reading the recipe description, like here for example, it mentions frying some thin slices of salty meat with golden egg liquid. The translations are a bit rough, but you get the idea. It is bacon and egg, very shiny eggs by the way, all of the ingredients look oily for some reason. So I picked the right ingredients and I've now successfully unlocked bacon egg rolls that I can add to my menu. After setting the menu on the blackboard that is way too high for my character to realistically draw anything on, the tavern opens. But before we start serving customers, I would like to show you how running a tavern should look like with the sponsor of today's video, Tavern Keeper. From the creators of Game Dev Tycoon, Tavern Keeper is a management game where you do everything from ordering ingredients, hiring staff, making sure everybody's happy, and handling unexpected situations where your choices matter. The fully narrated tutorial and stories make this one easy to get into, but it also has its fair share of chaotic moments to spice things up. I thought I was doing very well for the first few hours of my playthrough until I got to this tavern in the desert, where I couldn't keep it clean from all of the sand and dust accumulating, and one day everything caught on fire and burned. If you'd prefer something more relaxing or more challenging even, there are tons of settings to customize your experience, and there's also a scenario mode, a sandbox mode, as well as an item workshop to build your own items from scratch to decorate with. The small team of developers at Greenheart Games has been working on this project for 11 years now. You can wishlist it using the link in the description, and on November 3rd it will become available in early access on Steam. But for now, let's get back to our first shift at the Dragon Song Tavern. Customers walk in right away, take a seat, an icon pops up with their order, I go pick it up and deliver it to their table. After 2 or 3 items customers check out, I clean their table and new customers take their place until I completely run out of food. The entire process reminds me, unfortunately, of Critter Cafe, also Sugardew Island, and I keep seeing the same issues over and over again with a lot of these restaurant or shopkeeping games. Yes, if you really wait too long without doing anything, customers will get mad, but other than that, there is absolutely no element of time management, no multitasking, no strategy or planning involved. You simply walk to the food, back to the customers, back to the food, back to the customers. There's also no time or schedule, no need to worry about having too much or not enough food. Customers simply continuously come in, and they order whatever you have until you sell everything out. You cannot mess up, but you also cannot be good or proud of yourself. There is barely any gameplay here, and for that reason, it's not satisfying. This is an issue a lot of games that label themselves as cozy tend to have, especially when cozy is right in the title. Sure, there's never any stress, but there is also no fun. You don't have to make something as chaotic as Diner Dash, but little things like having to seat groups at the right tables so you can fit as many people as possible, placing orders with the kitchen and doing other tasks while they're being prepared, having customers with different needs or special requests. There are so many things you could add to make the gameplay engaging, and not just walking from point A to B again and again. Once our first shift is over, this man called Terry comes in, and he is offering us a deal. Remember, we bought the tavern for 200 GP? Well, one of his clients is offering 400 GP to buy it from us right away. We would double our investment in an instant. I am extremely tempted, but my sister is the one who makes the decisions around here, and it looks like we are refusing the deal. The day ends, and suddenly I'm back outside the next morning. That's right, we don't have a bedroom, and so this is our starting point every day. We now need to go to Blackjack Plaza in the city to buy ingredients, so I go to the docks on the right side of the island and get teleported to the plaza. Which makes me wonder, why are customers going out of their way to leave the town, take a boat and come to my tiny island where there is absolutely nothing to see but a tavern? There might be a reason we just don't know about yet, but I'm at the plaza now, time to shop. I buy some seeds, all of the seeds available in the store, and there's a lot, as well as a few other ingredients requested by Luca. And before returning home, I do a side quest of helping a shopkeeper with a wine delivery. I plant some of my new seeds, fill up the small field near the tavern, but also this larger one, and I use a free weekly spell that makes all of them grow faster. Again, it is a bit strange how the developers added so many ways to speed up the farming or to get rid of it, instead of just finding ways to make the process enjoyable. I cook a few dishes, set the menu, run the tavern just like yesterday, but once all of the customers are gone and we close, I press the sleep button to end the day. And then there's this cutscene where, oh, the place is suddenly packed again. This elf comes in trying to steal a customer's purse. There is a bit of drama, but all is well that ends well. And bam, just like that, it's the next day and I'm here outside. All of these transitions are quite jarring. I think it would have been better if they had blended in some of these interactions while the tavern was actually running, as it looks like they were going for a story-driven experience, but all of the inconsistencies really break the immersion, and it's not working. I take a look at my mailbox where there are some free decor items, and I learn how to customize my tavern, which is nice. While I cannot move things around, there are options to change the appearance of the floor, carpet, add some things on the tables or counters, and switch up some of the decors like plants. I then repeat my routine of farming, making some flour and cheese in the windmill, and operating the tavern. There is another cutscene today where this guy named Bill, who's the owner of a famous winery called Golden Valley, offers us to serve his brand new wine at our tavern. We accept, the delivery arrives in the morning, we sell it in the evening, and everything seems to be going well until the day ends and 3 guards show up. News travel fast around here. Everybody who drank the wine has been poisoned and reported us to the authorities. We travel just as fast, we're instantly being brought to the guards captain in the city. They want to shut down our establishment, but after some debating, it's concluded we did not poison the wine ourselves, and I'm back in front of the tavern in the morning. I am obviously summarizing, but the story really is this abrupt. To save our reputation, the elf thief from earlier comes back and suggests we brew some very special, glorious mead. The catch is, it's only found in a dangerous area, but no worries, after all, we are adventurous. We take the boat that's in front of the tavern. I wonder why we don't also take this boat when going to the city. There are 2 different docks, but anyway, we sail to the Wildflower Valley. This place instantly lifts up my mood. I feel like I'm in a beautiful storybook again. It's filled with lovely pastel colors, truly great visuals. This doesn't last too long, however, as we're now being introduced to the turn-based combat. Introduced is a big word, as there's absolutely no tutorial or explanation, but if you've ever played a turn-based RPG, you will get the hang of it quickly. There's a bar with the turns of all of the characters at the top. You have action points each turn, and every action consumes a certain number of these points. It's interesting, it's fine on the surface, but as you experience it, it feels like none of it matters. First, the monsters just stand still, looking very lifeless, until you get near them to trigger the battle, and then once you're in the fight, you can win by spamming pretty much any random attacks. Of course, the first enemies in an RPG will always be easy to defeat, but let's have a quick look at Moonstone Island as a comparison. For your very first battle here, your dad explains clearly but concisely what everything means, and what is the best action to take each turn according to the situation. You're first being shown how you have to use the bash action and remove the enemy's armor before you can reduce their HP. Then when the enemy hits you and the only creature you have loses a big chunk of its HP, immediately you're being shown how to heal. All of the numbers and information on the screen are easy to digest and understand, and through all of that you quickly learn that every action matters. To top it all off, the experience feels polished with clean animations and sound effects, and at the end of the fight you have a summary that shows you how much experience you gained, how close you are to leveling up, and any loot you found. It is the first battle, it's easy, but it's engaging, rewarding, and makes you look forward to the next one. Back to Dragon Song Tavern, you start with 4 characters, a bunch of different actions to choose from, but all of it feels pointless and hollow. After a few battles, I collect the luminous honey. The name changed apparently. We return to the farm to make the luminous honey mead, and I use some Sand of Time to speed up the process. To impress our customers even more, we have this brilliant idea to put on a dance performance, but we don't get to see it, you don't get to see it. There's just a black screen saying it was a success, and that all of the rumors about us poisoning our customers are now a thing of the past. If you are ever accused of murder, apparently a drink and a dance is all you need. Anyway, after that, everybody talks about how it was so tiring to perform on the stage, and suddenly it makes sense why the performance was just a black screen, as there is no stage. We could fit the 3 of us in front of the giant fireplace, But honestly, you can't convince me this is supposed to be a stage. Business continues as normal for the next few days. I buy my first cow. I don't need to feed her or anything, she just produces milk automatically. And you may recognize her from the infamous $34.99 Cute Pet Pack from the Unity Asset Store. I've lost track of how many times I've seen that same exact cow model. She is cute, but she has, sadly, become an emblem of the disappointing 3D farming sims. In my free time, which I have too much of, I try to do some quests, and one of them is to defeat the Moon Bear, a very dangerous creature threatening nearby villages in the Wildflower Valley. So I make my way to the Wildflower Valley. I find some mushrooms, some more honey, but no moon bear to be seen, and I keep checking over several days. I'm thinking maybe I have to go at night since, it's a moon bear. I didn't get to experience much of the nighttime yet, because one in-game day is one real-life hour, but there is not enough to do in a day to realistically keep you busy for an hour. Also, you can open your tavern at any time, and when you close, the day ends automatically, so unless you go out of your way to make it to nighttime, you don't. So I go out of my way to make it to nighttime. I leave the game running for 30 to 45 minutes or so while I work on other things, and when I come back, you can tell it is in fact dark on the island. Excited, I go to the Wildflower Valley, and not only is there no moon bear, the brightness has not changed one bit, it looks just like it did at 7 AM. With the moon bear remaining undefeated, it's a matter of time until the evil creature eats all of the villagers, and with no more customers to visit the Dragon Song Tavern, the two siblings starve to death. Luca regains full ownership of the building, and lives there by himself happily ever after. The end. Okay, I made up that ending, but moral of the story, do not buy a property without inspecting for shadow monsters. Dragon Song Tavern, cozy and adventurous, has a very cozy presentation and lovely art style, but its gameplay and story are far from adventurous. From farming to running the tavern and fighting monsters, everything feels bland and generic, with very little pushing you to keep going. It is by no means the worst game. After all, the reviews on Steam are mostly positive, but it cost 26 Canadian dollars, and I don't believe it's worth that much. Part of me sometimes worries I sound too harsh in these videos, but also at the end of the day, it is a product they're asking money for, and I'm sure the developers did try their best, but the quality isn't there. So I hope this can serve as feedback maybe for future projects, and I would like to end with a few games that I would recommend as alternatives. If you want a farming sim with fun cooking mechanics, check out Immortal Life. If you want to run a tavern, Traveler's Rest. For turn-based combat, Moonstone Island. And if you are looking for life sim elements with that storybook fairy tale vibe, Worth Life is fun and simple and can be worth having a look at. Lastly, of course, we're going into a bit of a different genre now, but if you want to really focus on managing a tavern, today's sponsor, Tavern Keeper, is right there for you to wishlist and play on November 3rd. Let me know what you think of Dragon Song Tavern, cozy and adventurous. Have you played it or not? Leave a like and subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you all in the next video.